I had this belief, if I want to be a woman, if I want to start dressing feminine and whatnot, I have to wait till HRT. Oh, now I have to wait till bottom surgery. That is not the case. And also like the transitioning process, it's a journey. It's not a going from white to black. It's just a lot of shades of gray. There was something that I wanted to talk about because I thought it was funny. Rev says Dezu believes Asmongold is left-wing. Someone like Asmongold who I consider a centrist or someone maybe a bit to the left. I guarantee you the reason why Rev says Dezu would say that Asmongold is a leftist or left-wing or left-leaning or whatnot, or a centrist, is because he's pro-choice. There's also like an acceptable level of gay to him. Right? Oh, just don't shove it in our faces or whatnot. But I quote tweeted this with left wingers, quote unquote, let's run over protesters. Trans people are mentally ill and a parasite to the gay community. Gay, black, and female characters in games are ruining my life. Let's do a genocide in Gaza. Let's take voting rights away from 85% of people. Totally left wing. It's just crazy to me. Like, how far right do you have to be in order to consider Asmongold to be left wing? That's the dumbest thing ever. I'm not going to like actually play the clip because I don't wanna make you hear his voice. I don't want you to suffer. But it's insane. It's so wild. But yeah, I also saw this one. Oh, trans women are men. Transgender women are men. Transsexual women are women. Only some trans women are women. Why is hate against transsexuals so normalized in the trans community? Huh? Transsexual isn't a thing. Go fuck yourself. The thing is, like, the word transsexual makes it sound like someone is exclusively attracted to trans people. It makes it sound like a sexuality, yeah? But for some people, you know, for like transmedicalists, they're like, oh, if you want to be a woman, then you have to be female. You have to transition from male to female in order to be a trans woman and a legit woman. If you're a trans woman and you didn't have bottom surgery, then you're still a man, which is obviously like really fucked up thing to say, because, you know, not everybody has access to medical treatment. Not everybody has dysphoria in certain areas. It's a really risky surgery, and you know, some people just literally can't afford it for social reasons, for financial reasons. And gatekeeping the term woman, or like who is a real woman, basically making that pay to win for trans women. It's gross. It's really disgusting behavior. And people who are pushing that obviously deserve hate, because, you know, you're not going to actually satisfied. Like, it's not a compromise for fascists who are like, oh yeah, like the trans women who undergo genital surgery, they are valid. That's not happening. There's no debate like that. There might be like some, I don't know, 4chan boards where this is going to be pushed, but it's just like moving the goalposts, because then you fulfill all the things, and then it's like, well, you know, if you want to be a real woman, then you shouldn't talk about like being trans at all. You should actually put more effort into looking like a woman. You need to dress like a woman. You need to act like a woman. You gotta be quiet and submissive like a woman. You should be subservient. You gotta be like a traditional Christian wife. But then on the other hand, you can't get pregnant. I can't impregnate you, so you're not a real woman anyway. Like, it's just going to move the goalposts anyhow, right? Then you are on HRT, and then it's not enough. And you have bottom surgery, and then it's not enough. And then you are looking like a real woman, like a conventionally attractive woman. And it's still not enough because can't get pregnant. And then I guarantee you, once womb transplants are successful and reliable, this is, you know, going to keep happening anyway. So that is like something that is like really gross, really disgusting. That's like going on with like the gatekeeping of the trans community, which is also like the reason why trans people are so inclined and encouraged to drop people who are activists, who are encouraging and who are like talking about like getting trans healthcare, making that accessible and whatnot. Like, if you're vocal and whatnot, you're shoving it in everyone's faces, and you're making it worse for the entirety of the trans community, which is obviously not the case, but it's like what fascists want you to believe. And a lot of trans people, you know, they fall for it. You know, I see that in my replies as well, when someone is like, well, I don't hate trans people, I just like hate Nyara. I just hate the trans people like Nyara. The AGP groomer trans people, like, you know, right? Transphobia, misogyny, and so on. And then saying that, like, they have trans friends that they expect, that they respect the pronouns from, and they think exactly like them. And it's like, so it's conditional support, right? It's like, as long as you agree with me, as long as you say the things that I believe, then I'm going to, like, respect your pronouns as, like, a little treat, right? It's like a privilege to be gendered correctly and not abused further, which sucks. So there are a lot of, like, trans people who fall for these because they're being boosted upwards. They have people celebrating them that they also hate, like the vocal trans people, you know. But if it's according to, like, fascists, the good trans woman is a dead one, or, you know, I don't know, some in someone's basement as like a slave, because that's kind of how they imagine trans women are, saying that, like, oh, we just want to be women in order to be sex objects, which is, like, obviously not the case. But there are a lot of people who fall for it, and it's the narrative that is being pushed, and conservatives fetishize us, our existence. To chase us, the appeal is that it's a trans woman without bottom surgery. That's why they want to make it harder in order to get access to these treatments as well, right? Because then the fetish is that if a trans woman is just quote unquote looking like a woman. But yeah, thinking that, like, if you want to be a trans woman, you have to be female. You gotta go from male to female in order to go from man to woman. But that's obviously not the case when it comes to, like, gender identity. This is just, like, patriarchal nonsense, conflating the terms sex and gender in order to make it out to be something binary, and, you know, there's, like, a transition. If you want to go, quote unquote, from male to female, your gender identity already aligns with that of a woman. You might have, like, phantom limb or whatnot, where it's like there's something out of place, something feels weird, something feels wrong, and then getting, like, the medical treatment removes this sensation, this awkwardness. But it's not that as soon as you had the surgery, then you can call yourself a woman. This is something that I fell for a really long time ago, actually. I had this belief, if I want to be a woman, if I want to start dressing feminine and whatnot, I have to wait till HRT. Oh, now I have to wait till bottom surgery. That is not the case. And also, like, the transitioning process, it's a journey. You're on, like, a gradient, basically. It's not a going from white to black. It's just a lot of shades of gray. And then you look back 2 years ago and you're like, what the fuck happened? You just look like a woman now. But yeah, that is why I hate transmedicalists so much. And yeah, you know, like, there are transmedicalists who support DIY. Usually transmedicalism is just like, oh, you need to have gender dysphoria and you need to get properly diagnosed, and then you're, like, a transsexual when you have, like, the surgery and whatnot. It is more about, like, just gatekeeping womanhood and upholding the patriarchal system, because there are also, like, a lot of trans women who, you know, fall for the idea that if we are the least disruptive to the status quo, then we would be accepting. So activists asking for more acceptance, you know, wanting to have better representation when it comes to movies and whatnot, wanting to have better access to healthcare, that is too disruptive to the status quo, which is the reason why all of this is happening. Obviously not the case. There's a lot of misinformation going on. Trans people are being suppressed. Our voices are being suppressed. And we are being targeted. We are just less than 1% of the population. And we have just a huge target on our back. Like, constantly, people are lying about us. Chivalry is dead, so nobody is actually backing up trans women and so on. When they're being slandered, happens to me a lot. Most of the time it's more of, like, behind the scenes. It's not actually, like, being visible, because then you're making yourself a target as well, which is incredibly frustrating. Okay.
Nyara was the glue that held the squad together. All right, Danny.
I'm back.